room to evaluate what we did, what we did not do. And in all of this, various layers of evaluations, were carried out. We did our own internal one, starting from the various state offices. The staff, they cleared their mind, they spoke to us, they told us what they saw, what are the various imperfections, and of course, we documented them. We scaled it up to the headquarters. All of us met, various state AGBOKE directors. We also cleared our own mind as well, and everything was documented. Another level of evaluation was for us to bring all the stakeholders together with us. When I say stakeholders, CSO, political parties, media organizations, all of the political parties in particular, and security agencies. It is out of all these various interventions from them, they were able to distill so many, areas of improvement. When you look at those areas of the recommendations, all of them, they are purely areas of improvement. And of course, nobody is interested in anything than a credible process that will usher in, people that are freely elected. And of course, that it is not just about the election day. So many activities will go into that election to happen. So if there's any flaws like that will also have direct impact on the entire outcome. So you asked me for the motive. The motive is for us to better the entire system, for the electorate, for ourselves, and for everybody to accept what INEC will do as an agency of election.
Okay, 142 recommendations were made according to what we read, and 142, I begin to wonder if INEC has capacity to go through all these 142 recommendations and make them something sustainable policies that will help them in another election cycles that will be coming up very, very soon.
No, Charity, the 142 is not majorly for INEC alone.
Okay.
If you look at the report, we have broken it down.
Okay.
And what we are saying there is that out of this 142, there are part of them that concern the National Assembly.
Okay.
There are part of them that should be looked into by the security agencies. There are part of them that should be looked into by the CSO and other major stakeholders. But I think the major ones that concerns INEC are the ones that we are focusing and majoring in. When I say majoring in, I'm saying that the one that concerns us directly about the issue of logistics, about the issue of deployment, about the behavior of our staff, and also the ability to open the poll on time. All other issues that go around with it, these are for us, both within, internally, and externally. And all those ones, they are directly within the purview of INEC. Other individual agencies will have to look into them, but they cannot look into them alone. INEC must also facilitate the process. For example, the issue of National Assembly. National Assembly is also to be encouraged by INEC, to do the needful on time, because once they are able to drop the legal framework, it's better for the Commission. So the entire recommendations are not directly, for INEC. There are other bodies, there are other stakeholders, there are other agencies of government.
Okay.
I'm sure part of the stakeholders really that you actually referring to really would actually be the political parties. And I'm sure that INEC in the last election cycle had a lot of court cases really, coming from political parties, before the election, during the election, and even after the election. What are you really doing, or how possible it is for you to reduce these court cases that often, because sometimes they can serve as distractions, really, to even you, the umpire?
No, there's nothing. Each time you ask this question, that why is INEC allowing much cases? Why do we have much cases before and after? You see, if you look at our legal system in Nigeria, it's adversarial in nature, meaning that you must have a case, you have to, go to court, somebody also must file against you, you must join issue. In other words, once you have a right to claim before the court, Section 6 of Section 6 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic allow every individual access to the court and all tribunals. In other words, if before, for example, after the conduct of primaries, somebody supposedly emerged as a candidate. Okay, for example now, Dominic emerged as a candidate. Charity feels that no, she has been shortchanged because she's a lady, for example. And the party leaders are saying, don't worry, take to faith. Maybe you're a daughter of Jesus. Jesus will bless you. And she will tell them that leave me and Jesus alone. That's my personal affairs. She has the right, because she has been, she feels aggrieved about the process. She has the right to approach the court or the tribunal for redress. So that right in Nigeria is in our law. That is what our people don't understand. Nobody can take it away from you. Nobody can force you to pursue that right. Where you let go, the one you should be talking about is our politicians, our stakeholders, the political party should have a spirit of the one you call
sportsmanship.
Spirit. No, it's not sporting spirit.
Sportsmanship. Huh? Sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship, thank you. That is what we should be canvassing for. That no matter, and when you are saying that, Dominic, what it means is that even where you see that you are openly cheated, you must not go to court. That's what you are saying. Whereas people have seen that once you cheat me, I must pursue my right. So that is what is happening in Nigeria. That is why you have all those cases, plethora of cases that you have. In fact, like you have rightly put it, pre-election cases that we have, they are even more than the post-election matters. And INEC will fight some of them up to the trial, from trial court, court of appeal, up to Supreme Court. There are so many pre-election matters that because you have to join INEC. So when we are joined, we have to follow them. So even in terms of cost, it's not the best for us. Not to now talk of the election proper and litigation that will follow it. So I'm saying in essence is that it is not that you should tell people not to go to court, not to go to tribunal. And of course, why not? Somebody lost election in this country, and he told the media that, gentlemen, I am pursuing nothing. I have congratulated the winner. That is the end of the story. Did you hear anything coming out of it? Did you hear any rigmarole or any altercation from it? In fact, it has even given credibility. So that is the kind of advocacy I think we should start talking about. That we should reduce, you ask a question, how can INEC reduce? INEC is not the one orchestrating cases. We are the one taking INEC to court. Charity will take us to court. Dominic will take us to court.
But sometimes,
INEC must follow.
But sometimes,
that is the practice there.
But sometimes, the conduct of some INEC officials actually result or lead to people, pursuing these litigations. You talked about spirit of sportsmanship. Spirit of sportsmanship is not only applicable to the person who has been defeated. Even the person that is conducting, the umpire should also, exhibit that spirit of sportsmanship by being fair and creating a level playing field. The other opponents too should also have the spirit of sportsmanship by also, playing by the rules. But a lot of the times, we see some hanky-panky And then when it's all of these hanky-pankies that will make somebody to say, no, there is no transparency, there is no level playing field here. I need to pursue this case in court. And so
if you get my,
this will now lead me to my next question, which is the conduct of INEC officials. Sometimes we have had situations where even some persons who will win. I remember the Mena and the former Senate President's case, and how that actually dragged for a very long time. Some INEC officials would have been involved, in the whole saga. There are situations where...
No, you are bringing a wrong example. You see, you are bringing a wrong example. Minor's case is a case that was decided by Supreme Court. So such a case, you don't cite such as an example of infraction committed by INEC official. No, that's not the way to cite. I was expecting you to cite the example of Adamawa, experience. That was the part.
Okay, yes. Okay, let's. Okay,
maybe your mind was at Adamawa.
Okay, yes. Let's look at.
Don't worry. Your father, you will not pay anything.
Okay, let's look at that now.
Dominic, I get you. Yes, I get you. Now for you to say that INEC is complicit, you should ask yourself. After that, you cannot predict the mind of a man. As a rank, I sworn to an oath to uphold the Constitution and be diligent with my work. After the oath, you have the liberty to be funny in the steps that you take and in your interactions with the stakeholders. But where you go out of bounds, where you exceed the limit given to you by the rule, the commission will rise up to the occasion and deal with you appropriately. So, Dominic, you saw it that after that Mr. Man misbehaved. What did INEC do? INEC suspended the process of the collation of the result. Then what did the INEC do? The commission sat down and appointed 3-man national commissioners to go to Adamawa State to regularize all the various, anomalies that happened there. And eventually the process was concluded. That one is to tell you that within the commission, we have internal mechanism to right the wrong in whatever manner our staff must have misbehaved. I agree with you. Not all INEC staff are saints. Not all INEC staff are sincere, just like not all media, personnel are responsible and sincere. So it's everywhere. But what I'm saying in essence is that where irregularity occurs, the commission has internal mechanism to rise up to occasion and be able to ensure that the right thing is done. Whether the right thing is done or not done, stakeholder parties will still go to court and INEC will still follow them.
All right, Dr. AGBOKE, let's go right now to enforcing these electoral reforms. What are the challenges that you think INEC is facing? What are the least? We want to have some of the challenges that you think INEC is facing while enforcing these reforms, and how best can it be addressed? Because a lot of people believe that when INEC is on top of their game, then the electoral process will be a better one for everyone in Nigeria. So the challenges and how best you are addressing them.
No, the challenges are any form of entity that will make it difficult for us to deliver peaceful process will be a form of challenge to all of us. And I want to give you few examples. We have a subsisting memorandum of understanding with the National Union Road Transport Workers, NATO and MAON, the marine workers. And we did that purposely so that we can hold anybody responsible in case of any logistical breakdown on election day. Now, where we now have a situation that the union is now changing the goalpost on election day. For example, if you have agreed at a particular cost at a particular price for transporting our staff and materials to various, polling units. And on that election day, you now want to change. For example, we say we are going to pay you 10 naira. We have agreed. On election day, now you now say no. You are not going to pay 10 naira. It's 500 naira you are going to take. Charity, that is a deliberate sabotage for us. It's a great challenge. That is why we identified it. So we are going to engage those in charge of that so that they will know that if that happens, it's a national disaster they want to create. That is number one. Number two, security is also a challenge. There are situations that most of our collation centers are usually under attack during the collation. Yet police will deploy so many, men and materials and police on election day. We want to sit down together. We want them to understand what we feel, the impact of these security gaps in our elections. Not only that, even our staff that we are making use of, for example, the members of National Youth Service Corps that we train for the purpose of election. So many complaints have come from the public that some of them do not even know how to operate our beavers. Some of them will not even know how to fill simple result sheet. Some of them will not even know how to assist an electorate, a voter to accredit on election day. This is a major problem for us. We are going to look at that, and we are going to ensure that that is also, solved. Not only that, in Nigeria today, some of the issues of court matters, electoral offenses, people have been clamoring for it, asking INEC to take over and do this and do that. And INEC is saying no, let there be an independent body to handle all that. In fact, in that recommendation, INEC is saying that we want to know, in a situation where we are using both, manual collation of results and we are using technology, which one should we use? Should we continue with the one we are using? Are we going to have, full manual collation of results? Are we going to have, full, use of technology? These are the things that we have identified. And for us, the earlier we do all this, the better for the process of the election we are going to conduct.
All right.
Now let us look at some persons have also talked about recent appointments. Not recent really, but appointments of.
Dominic, speak up, I can't hear you.
Okay, so some persons have also talked about appointments really of national commissioners of INEC really, and then some say that some of these people are politicians really, and if INEC is, if these national commissioners are appointed who are known politicians or friends of politicians really, that it may not really augur well for the image of INEC. I want you to speak, to that, to correct whatever impression that many may have concerning these appointments, really.
Dominic, you see, it's a narrative that I have overflowed over time. And I have said that it's better we get the perspective so that we stop asking this question again. But it's good you have brought it up again. You see, the power of appointment is the first thing we have to clear. Who has the power to recommend ABC for appointment? By top schedule of the Constitution, check the paragraph 15 or section 15 of it. You will see it there. Appointment of the chairman of the commission is solely by Mr. President of Nigeria. The appointment of 12 national commissioners by Mr. President of Nigeria. The appointment of the reps is also by Mr. President. All of them will be recommended to the National Assembly for consideration by Mr. President. So, for now, the way the law is that Mr. President is the one in charge. Now, the question is that What about their political affiliations? What qualifies somebody to be a REC, National Commissioners and the chairman, is that you must not have political affiliation in whatever manner. It is there in the Constitution. So as at the time you have been appointed, unless there is an evidence to the contrary, once you have been appointed by Mr. President and there is no evidence to show, for me, there is no issue at all. However, the National Assembly will look at it and make some of them in the past, they did not pass the test of that political affiliation. I know, in the recent time, somebody was nominated as National Commissioner and there was heated debate against the person. And the person was removed. So, but it's not a question of raising, founded allegation to name somebody. But where you have evidence to show that it belongs to party A, B, C, D, of course, you cannot have your way. That is the law as it is. If you want to change the law, maybe there should be an amendment. You take the power away from Mr. President, you take the power of endorsement from National Assembly. But as it is now, Mr. President recommends, National Assembly endorses.
Now, let us look at another very critical issue as far as these recommendations that the INEC has made, and that's the issue of diaspora voting. Tell us more about this. I know that it has to do with allowing people abroad to vote and also allowing people who are not domiciled in their local government or their polling units where they have their PVCs, but we are still within Nigeria. Maybe as a result of one assignment or the other that they are doing, UNIT also allows them to vote. Tell us more about this. And don't you think...
No, there are two things. The issue of diaspora voting, simplicity will mean that you are not in Nigeria, you are in another country. But there are other categories of individuals who we are also, INEC is also making case for them, that no, the military, they don't have a specific station. The media, on election day, you guys will be here doing the analysis. So what we are now saying is that there should be a legal framework that will allow any of you, that's the first category, any of you, media, military, even INEC official, anywhere you are, to be able to vote. I just came back from Namibia. In Namibia, we saw a mobile polling unit. A mobile polling unit where they carried the polling unit to meet people where they were. And they were able to count it, no issue. So these are the kind of things INEC is proposing. So that if we are able to get it, people like you, anywhere you are, regardless of where you are registered, for as the law as it is you'll be able to vote only where you are registered. But if you are able to get that, you can vote anywhere, regardless of where you are registered. Now, on the issue of diaspora voting, what INEC is pushing is that a lot of people are outside Nigeria, various countries. We are looking at an arrangement where either in the High Commission of the country, Nigerians who are there will be able to also exercise their voting right on election day. So these are the two categories of the intervention INEC is trying to push across. Where they are able to go through, I think it's going to be a good development for all of us.
Okay, now let's move to the second aspect of the topic, which is the unclaimed PVC, permanent voters card. What is the situation about this? Are people still having their PVCs with INEC, and what is the process by which they can collect? And those who have the voters card with you for a very long time, what will happen to those cards, and how do you think these cards can be?
No, Charity, what we are saying is this. What we are saying is this. INEC is proposing a system whereby we are saying that we do not even need the PVC to vote. Okay. That's where we are driving at. Okay. We are not yet there. And I want our people to get it right so that we won't mix up the understanding. We are not yet there. Why are we saying that? When you come to vote on election day, beavers will run through your identity, and all your particulars are already captured in the beavers. So with the beavers alone, we don't need your, because people still think that the PVC will be read by the beavers. No, beavers doesn't read any card. You know, it is all your details that we have in the chips of the PVC that have already been transferred into the beavers. So in the beavers, we can see you, we can know you, we can have your identity. So INEC is now saying, if that is the situation now, why do we need the PVC? We don't need the PVC again. So we are now pushing for a reform that will change the law. If you look at section 51 or 52 of Electoral Act, what the law is saying is that upon approaching the presiding officer by the voter, by presenting his PVC, that is the law. The law is saying you present your PVC. That is the law for now. So we are now saying that we are looking for an amendment that will remove that presentation of PVC to the presiding officer and just say, meet the presiding officer, let him identify you and accredit you. If the law is given to us in that manner, that PVC is removed, then what it means is that all those PVCs, they may not be of any use again. Of course, we may not need them again. INEC will have to decide what to do with them. But as at now, Charity, I'm repeating, as I'm talking to you now, the next election, let me see, which one is the next off-season election? Okay. The next election we are going to have is Anambra by November, by God's grace. Unless the law is changed, any voter that will come out to vote must bring out his or her PVC. So what we are saying is that we want a situation whereby the bottlenecks and all the problems we have in the collection of PVC, the registration of voters, we want to remove it. And not only that, the slip we give you at the registration point, we are saying should be sufficient for you to present at the time of it. So you ask me what happened to those PVCs? Those PVC are still in our custody. In the where I am now, I have over 2 million or less. I'm not sure of the figure now. I'll get it. I have, close to 2 million PVC uncollected. So we have to understand that it's like that in the state where you are. They have uncollected. Across Nigeria, uncollected PVCs are there. So they are still in our stock custody, properly kept. Nothing will happen to them until otherwise directed.
Okay. Now, let us still talk about the diaspora voting that you spoke about. And I really want to know, really, if the Commission is really prepared and, of course, is also projecting and putting into consideration the foreseeable challenges that may be associated with diaspora voting. In the last election, we had reports of claims of attempts to hack INEC server, IREV, and the rest of them. Hope things are really in place.
Which last election are you referring to?
The 2023
attempted hacking. No,
yes.
INEC did not say that. Maybe you read it in the news. INEC did not say attempted hacking. No.
Well, there were reports. There were reports.
INEC did not say. INEC said there were glitches. Glitches is different from hacking.
They said
no
people,
attempted hacking by the Commission.
INEC said people planned, probably opposition wanted to hack, or some persons wanted to hack, and that is why.
That is from Dominic Ogtv.
Okay. So if you are not going to agree on that,
yes,
this is a possibility.
Yes.
This is a possibility. So are you prepared, really?
Very good.
And then what are you doing to ensure that it is prevented?
That does not happen. Thank you, Dominic. You see, in whatever we do, the Commission also look at the other side of the of whatever happens, and of course, whatever happens in most cases are the things that will ensure that we protect our gadgets very well. Our ICT department is fully secured, and for me, we don't have any problem with regards to that. There can be attempts. Anybody can attempt to do anything, but the point is that the Commission can assure you that our both our hardware and software are well protected. Have you seen it? I can see you are searching for it. Have you seen it? Is it there?
Well, of course, it was in the news. I mean, okay. It's one of the major newspapers in Nigeria actually had it that INEC server reports 12 million cyber attacks during presidential poll. I mean, it's an attempt.
That statement did not come from our INEC. That's what I'm telling you. The report can come from anybody. You see, you have to get the difference.
Okay, let's.
What came from INEC was
this is also another reputable news medium. 2023, foreign hackers attacking our database. INEC chair, quoting the Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, the chairman of INEC. I mean, these were
that what?
That foreign hackers attacking our database in the course of the election.
It's okay. Let's leave that. That's not
okay. So
moving on.
The
commission will ensure. The commission will ensure that everything that we work with, hardware, software, are well protected against any enemy, whether media enemy, whether spirit enemy.
Well, of course, the media is a collaborator.
Media is always a friend.
The media is a collaborator, not the enemy of the state or any state institution. But let us look at.
Moving on now, we have a few minutes to round off. Moving on, what do the people expect from INEC? Now we have one cycle election for 2025, and by 2027, you should, preparation are on gear now for 2027 election. I know that it takes years before you do an election. So moving on, how should people trust your judgment on electoral reforms, electoral processes, and giving out the best when it comes to elections?
No, Charity, don't say how should they trust the judgment of INEC. INEC is just one of the organizers of the election. How should the stakeholders, how should they conduct themselves for people to believe in us? You see, unfortunately, we are the ones that will carry all the blame. Even where people will go to the election polling unit and distribute money. Charity and Dominic will still ask me, why should people go and share money there? As if the INEC gave them money. You won't ask the political parties who is sharing money and the likes. Now, let me tell you that we are going to ensure that we collaborate effectively well with all the stakeholders to be able to do the right thing, to be able to ensure that our elections are acceptable by people. We should let the electorate see that they should not just sit back and be looking for imperfections. Let them follow us from the beginning of the process. If they see any inadequacy, they should raise alarm so that the commission can come up. Of course, we are not angels, and we don't have anything to monitor anybody than the way we are doing. So we can only ensure and assure our people that we have no other country. If INEC doesn't do it well, nobody will do it well for us. And if you want to live peacefully in Nigeria, election is one of the key elements of peaceful coexistence, and we must get it right. So I can assure you, we can only say it will be better, and it will be better for all of us.
Thank you, Dr. MUTIU AGBOKE, who is the resident electoral commissioner for
Thank you, Charity. Thank you, Dominic,
for coming on the program.
I appreciate the two of you. Thank you.
Thank you for your time on the program. And that is the size of the program this morning. We've talked about INEC electoral reforms and unclaimed PVCs that we still have in Nigeria. And Dominic Agbea is here, and we want to leave now.
No, I'm no longer here. Thank you so much for watching the program. New Dawn will be back next week by God's grace. In the meantime, enjoy your weekend.